Ignition sequence start.
And God bless all of you.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
All great journeys are measured in time. Sometimes they're short, sometimes way too long. Let me give you an example. The longest journey by tractor is 25,378 kilometers over nearly 6 months period. Achieved by the German Hubert Berger, who traveled to 36 countries. Well, in this particular setting, that's a long one, all right. But time does not pass, it continues, said the author, Marty Rubin, and I think he's onto something here, because when our time will come, yours and mine, although I'm a robot, others are still going, still starting. And that's one of the reasons why we're together here. At Calvert Brugger today we are celebrating entrepreneurship and innovation, our existence, celebrating the history, alongside the now. We are celebrating that startups come to life every day, and celebrating what they'll become, also have become. Due to the circumstances, we are not only celebrating physically, but also from home. For now, time travel can only happen while looking back, so now the year is 2000. It's the year you played Snake on your brand new Nokia 3310. The same year where the first flash drive USB stick came to life with a hefty 8 megabyte storage. Which definitely maybe led to that Bill Gates left his CEO chair at Microsoft in the same year. It is also the year where venture capital Horizont got born. Same year the rapper Lil Pump got born. Venture capital Horizont, now Venture Cap Denmark, was founded by McKinsey & Company, led by the current CEO and president of Coloplast, Christian Wilhelmsen.
Hello everybody, my name is Christian Wilhelmsen and I'm the CEO of Coloplast. 20 years ago I was the CEO of Venture Cup. I remember that experience vividly, not least because it was also the year that my son was born. Time flies. Back then, the environment for startup companies and entrepreneurship in Denmark was very, very different. And part of the reason that McKinsey & Company back then got involved with trying to start the competition here in Denmark was basically to help foster and build a different type of environment. And from my chair, I can see that you've been successful. I look at the list of companies that have been through the competition, and I think it's a pretty remarkable list of companies. Back then, I remember some of the companies I worked with. An engineer from DTU who had invented a technology that would avoid collapsing a building during earthquakes. There's another great company that's gone on to become very successful here in Denmark called 3Shape, that I'm sure you're all familiar with now, a multi-billion kroner company, and many, many more. And I remember that time as one of a lot of excitement and also building of something that I think has now grown for 20 years and has become a fixture of the innovation environment and ecosystem here in Denmark and the Horizont region.
The time goes by while the journey continues. We hear often that failures of the past shape success of the future. If not your own, then others. Torsten Collind.
My name is Torsten Collind. I ran Venture Cup all the way back in 2006 to 2008. And by the looks of this old business card that I found, it looks like I've been about 14 years old at the time. But I learned a lot from it, and I'm sure everybody else did at the time. But I want to share with you what probably is the most spectacular failure of the program to date, which was a company that was in the top 3 in 2008. It was a vaccine company that had a really, really cool platform for how to improve the efficacy of vaccines in all sorts of different aspects. Now that company, we failed to get off the ground and we failed to get the company properly funded. And as a result, the company shut down and the patent fell back into the University of Copenhagen portfolio, where it was later bought by some people in Switzerland who said, oh, this is a great invention. I would like to build a company around this. They built the company, and 3 years later, that company was sold to Roche for €250 million. And that should have been a Venture Cup alumni company. And to this day, I am still annoyed that it didn't become that. But I remain committed to helping out where I can and making sure that that doesn't happen again, and that we identify these amazing cases coming out of the labs around the Danish universities.
Throughout the years, Venture Cup Denmark have been helping university startups, integrating best practice tools, providing them numerous tailored programs, minimize failures, and maximize success. Venture Cup Denmark alumni community, and the historic pride of the organization, the Wall of Fame. Counting companies like Christian mentioned, 3Shape, Unity, Too Good To Go, Graduateland, Rockimore, and Blue Lobster, just to name a few, as I could be rambling all night. In 2000, the universities and Danish society didn't have any particular focus on entrepreneurship. In fact, Venture Cup Denmark was one of the first key players in the ecosystem, and the collaboration with both students and the universities may have sparked interest in entrepreneurship. Now, 20 years later, all the universities have their own student startup hubs and are heavily investing resources in this field, doing a tremendous job. Anders Jarklev, chairman of Danish universities.
For universities, it is really important that we work on entrepreneurship. The reason is really that we educate people so they can function 40, 50 years after their education. But we also know that a number of the jobs we see today will not exist in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. 20 years ago, when Venture Cup started out, there was really not much focused effort on this. Of course, we had people with good ideas. They have always existed. But the number of them and the help they could receive was very, very small. This is one thing where Venture Cup plays a key role, and I think it's very, very relevant to thank each and every one of you who contribute to this, each mentor, each educator, and of course also Stefan Christgau for now 20 years. You've done a fantastic job. It's really great that people like yourself take these initiatives and help the young people ahead. And we certainly draw a lot of inspiration from initiatives like Venture Cup.
It has taken 20 years to build up our organization, and now it is time to look to the future. Have Marty Rubin's words in mind. Time does not pass, it continues, and so does Venture Cup Denmark. For years to come it wouldn't be, if it wasn't for the students, the startups, the universities, and our great sponsors.